Hello YouTube, this is Soundwave913 coming back at it again with, shockingly, a new review that didn't take over half a year. Wow, what a surprise. Well, recently I've been more motivated to make more videos, so expect a few more. And also, I've been getting a few new figures, such as Transformers Earthrise Cliffjumper. This figure has been my most anticipated figure from Earthrise Wave 1, and I've been looking forward towards his release ever since the first promo pics came out. So, how does he hold up? Well, we'll take a look at him in a sec, but first, let's look at the box. So, you got the Earthrise packaging with the 8+, because they changed it, I believe, during Siege Wave 4. And there is the beautiful artwork of Cliffjumper on the side. I believe I'm not sure if there is an ID code like the Siege boxes. I haven't tried it out yet, but there's the side, there's the back, there's the side again with the fantastic Siege artwork with Sideswipe and the Arc and Quintesson Man and the Nemesis. And yeah, there's the box. So let's talk Cliffjumper. So Cliffjumper is my favorite of the 84 Minibot lineup. Dare I say my favorite G1 Minibot. And the original Cliffjumper, which was released in 1984, technically 1974-75, during Takara's This Isn't Transformers for over a decade phase. The original G1 Cliffjumper was a super deformed Porsche 924 Carrera GT, and is a cool looking car in real life. So, how does this look like one? Answer, it kind of looks like a modern update because, you know, Hasbro's not going to get the license for a character like Cliffjumper, who is essentially a red Bumblebee. And speaking of a red Bumblebee, here is how the car looks next to G1 Cliffjumper, who was a retool and / repaint of G1 Bumblebee because, well, mainly it was a new mold, but Cliffjumper is still kind of has that legacy of being a red Bumblebee. In fact, IDW are publishing Transformers Galaxy number 5, which is going to star Cliffjumper as a Bumblebee imposter of sorts. I can't wait to read that, so that's going to be interesting. Shameless shilling aside, yeah, he looks good next to his G1 counterpart. And, yeah, there he is. He looks pretty nice in his car mode. He's got a nice bright Autobot logo right there, and blue translucent windows. He has a certain presence to him because we don't see many red Autobot cars now thinking about it. The only ones I can think of besides Prime and Ironhide, yeah, I can't really think of any because most of them are, you know, white, black, green, etc. So, rolls quite well. And you have a few gimmicks in this mode, mainly the fact that you can attach his bazooka to the back. That looks ridiculous. But the bazooka also comes with 2 additional pieces. These little black pieces, which I will say, on the promo shots, are actually silver. So buyer beware on that. These act as little skis. So what you want to do is you want to peg these into that hole right there, and make sure the peg is on the outside and lines up with the front wheels. And what you get is this. It's not too impressive, but what you gonna do? It's a reference to that one episode of G1 where Cliffjumper was skiing on water in his vehicle mode, but Hasbro decided not to give us a back set, which don't know why. And if you're wondering, there's the kibble underneath. It looks like you could store a weapon underneath here, but that would frankly look ridiculous. And I also want to mention that the weapon can split into 5 pieces, including the 2 little skis. Comes with 2 identical blaster launchers, and this piece, which can, if I can do it, fold out. I have no idea why it folds out. I'm assuming this is for the robot mode, which, speaking of the robot mode, let us get into transformation as the camera focuses. So, this is something I did not know when I first purchased this figure. The backpack is parts forming. I did not expect that, but that is the first thing you want to do when you're transforming him from car to robot and vice versa. So, take out off the back of the car or the back of the robot, fold out or fold in this peg, or tab as it were, then fold out the arms until they're straight like that, and then pull, pull this piece up, the window section of the car, untab the sides and the front, and then swing them down to get some clearance, and then swing them down again, and then fold these pieces up, but don't tab them in yet. Come back over here, turn them around, the waist around, then, let me see if I can demonstrate this right. Fold the wheels down, fold the hood of the car down, and then line that tab right there with any of the holes in the wheels. So, like that, and do the same for the other side. Now, fold the arms down, fold the top of the car down again, flip the hood of the car down into the chest, close it up, tab everything back into place, and then finally, you want to attach the peg into the hole, and what you get is a little Cliffjumper. So, there is Cliffjumper in his robot mode, and he looks quite nice. Let's take a quick look at his head. He definitely has the G1 Cliffjumper influence, and honestly is a quite good head sculpt. Although, fair warning, when I purchased and started messing with my Cliffjumper out of the box, his head was extremely tight, but now it seems it, has subsided. He looks very accurate to Cliffjumper. In fact, while I'm at it, let me transform the G1 guy, because it will only take me a few seconds here. There is G1 Cliffjumper as a comparison. We sure have come a long way since 1984, or technically 74, 75. Anyway, so Cliffjumper has some nice looking styles to him. He just looks cool. On the back, he's got a backpack, but if you want, you can take the backpack off, and now you've got a much cleaner look as he goes flying. I don't know. You could also act as this is like a shield of some type, which it kind of has a alternator vinyl tech thing, but vibe going for it. But what you gonna do? He's got a few tabs or slots, as it were, to put in some of the Siege Blast effects. Mainly one on his leg and one on his shoulder and another on his forearm. So let's talk articulation. And for this, I'm going to put his backpack back on. Head can move, the typical left and right, and can look a little bit up and a little bit down. This is not a ball joint. This is a very limited ball joint, I believe. So be warned of that. Arms have a good amount of rotation in them and nice elbow bend, and also has a wrist swivel. A little bit of hollowness right there, but I can forgive him. Waist articulation is quite good, and if I take this off, this is the spine of the figure. You can actually have a good back, that pose, and that itself, doesn't turn, but, again, the waist turns. A very good leg articulation going forward and back. Good spread, a thigh swivel, a good bend at a 90-degree knee bend, and a very good foot ankle rocker. I mean, look at that. That's insane. And I will say that the backpack does not get in the way of posability. That is pretty good. So, how does he hold the bazooka? That's the big question here. That's the $1 million gamble, the $1 million question. If I can get it in right. you want to attach the skis to these slots right here, if you are curious. There we go. And then attach him to his hand, and that looks quite ridiculous. And if you're wondering where this is a reference from, this is a reference to episode 2 of Generation 1, where Cliffjumper tried to assassinate Megatron. Imagine if he was successful with that. The series would be over like that. No more Transformers. But yeah, Cliffjumper. So, how does Cliffjumper size up with a fair amount of other figures? Well, here he is next to the G1 Cliffjumper. Here he is next to, because this is another big question, how does he scale with the mini-bots of current age? Here he is next to Titans Return Bumblebee, which he is a little taller, but I always kind of imagine Cliffjumper being around the same size / a little bit taller than Bumblebee. So, there's them. Here he is next to Siege Hound, which very much bigger, and he was also in that same scene where Cliffjumper tried to assassinate Megatron. The old classics Cliffjumper. And finally, Bumblebee movie, Studio Series Bumblebee. So, he is quite small for $20, I will freely admit. But, in this case, I will make an exception, because I love the character so much. But, if you're a casual buyer, I would say Cliffjumper for good. Wait for at least for him to be $10 to $15 like the old Scout class figures, because he is quite small for what he is. And yeah, I will say, if you don't care, he definitely fits in well with Titans Return Bumblebee. So, there you go. Now, in conclusion, is this figure worth it? Should you buy him? Yes, this figure, despite him being a little small for the price, is worth it. He has great articulation, he looks awesome, he looks very accurate and nice to Cliffjumper, and, well, he's Cliffjumper. He's awesome. He's been the one mini-bot fans have been requesting, besides Hubcap, and Bumblejumper, and good versions of Uffer and Pipes, but still, people have been wanting a great toy of Cliffjumper ever since, well, this guy. And this guy was good for his time. Which, fun fact, this figure is now 14 years old. Oh my gosh. Wow. I self-censored myself. Congratulations. Anyway. Cliffjumper is well worth it. He is quite good. And if you can find him, because I have a feeling he is going to be the most hardest figure to find in the first wave of the Earthrise, get him if you can find him. He's good. Anyway. This is Soundwave913, signing out with Earthrise Cliffjumper. Have a good one, everybody.